Hey everybody, PKO Gamer here, and like I said, I was going to talk about a few more things. I've put some thumbnails out about my videos, and this is the one I'm going to talk about: Stadia. What is Stadia? This is Google's streaming platform for gaming. If you don't know what a streaming platform for gaming is, Netflix, Hulu, all those types of things, any type of streaming app, CBS, All Access, all those things stream your content in video form, and that's it. You hit the button as long as your internet doesn't mess up, their servers don't mess up, their sites are up. You get the video stream. Well, game streaming is having a game playing on a distant machine or server, and they're sending you the audio and video, but at the same time, you pick up a controller and you start doing things. You start moving and hitting buttons. Those are sent across the internet back to that server, and it reacts. Basically, you're remotely playing a game, and it just depends on your bandwidth, how good the video is, and then more importantly, latency, or how fast or slow the response is to the data center. Unlike Netflix or other place else, like sometimes even if you have an okay internet, you can pull enough for 1080p video. It might take a few more seconds on somebody's internet to buffer, but it works. In video and game streaming, it does it. There's a lot more to it. I'm not going to get into that. I mean, there's a lot of pieces and stuff that can go into the equation. But talking about this, I figured I would pretty much hate on this, and I have multiple opinions. I went back. I even one of my earlier videos, I talked about the Google streaming platform. It's been rumored for a while. I mean, let's take a look at it. If you go to the Google store, and it's barely go it, and it arrives this November. The Founders Edition starts with a controller, and you can play this on multiple devices, but it's going to come with a Chrome. If you don't know what Chromecast is, it's Apple's version of, it's Google's version of Apple's set-top boxes, the Apple TVs, or the Fire boxes from Amazon, or the Roku's. It's basically the equivalent of all those, just for Google. There's touting 4K resolution, 60 frames per second, HDR for high dynamic range of color, and up to 5.1 surround sound. So here's the kicker. If you have around 10 megabit internet, you can do about 720, 60 frames per second in stereo. You need about 20 megabit connection. I have way out here 150 easily. On my wireless end, even upstairs I can pull 50 up all the way out here. But you need about 20 to get a 1080p resolution, HDR video, 60, and 5.1 surround sound, and you need about between 30 and 35 to get to 4K. I mean, if I tested my connection right here, this is downstairs on my wireless end, it's going to pull pretty darn good. I mean, I'm going to let that run there for a second. There's a lot of stuff talking about all Xenoverse 2, Doom Eternal, Wolfenstein Youngblood, Destiny 2, Rage 2, Final Fantasy 15. There's a lot of stuff, a lot of games coming out for this. Borderlands 3, a new game, new games coming out. I mean, let that test for a second. I'll tell you what, with the internet, what I would get. But this is what you're going to get. You're going to get this device that is good for 4K, this controller, and it's going to come out in November for $129. And it's going to be a subscription. Here we go. Did it ever work? Yeah. In here it says 65 megabits. I can get more than that, so I can do anything. So if I can do 4K if I want to. Stadia Pro, which you have to put in this November to get. They're pretty much telling you up to 4K, 60. Buy games wherever you want, and you get some games free, just kind of like Xbox Live and PlayStation Plus. Nintendo's online service gives you those, the Nintendo games that you can play, NES games. Stadia Pro exclusive discounts on select games, yes. So next year, here's the kicker. They're going to rip out stereo, or rip out 5.1, give you only stereo, but 60, 1080p, which is still great. I mean, hell, the consoles now have struggled to keep up with that. All that would be free next year. But next year, So what do I think about this? You know, game streaming is one of these things that I've been back and forth. I've had a lot of opinions on the last few years. How the NX, which is the code name for the Switch, was supposed to be possibly a streaming platform. It wasn't. Google is big enough to make this happen. I saw an article somewhere, and I can't find it again, but it was comparing Microsoft, which Microsoft is wanting to try game streaming, versus Google. And some of the tests, a lot of people in the tests have been showing with Stadia looks pretty darn good. There's a lot of moving parts. There's a lot of pieces that fall. You know, your internet's got to be good. I got internet. I can play this thing in 4K all day long. I don't have a 4K screen. This computer here is 1080p. My TVs are 1080p. I don't care about 4K. But who's this for? And to be honest, I'm getting to the point that I've changed my opinions over the last year or so that I've talked about game streaming. I've tried On Live. It died. PlayStation Now or PS Now is Sony's version, and it worked actually really well. I tried a trial for it, and who's this for? It's for people who are tired of buying boxes. They're tired of buying a console. They're tired of upgrading their computer. Now, I know people are saying, wait a minute, I want to upgrade my computer. I want to own the game. I want this, that, and the other. Completely legitimate. You don't have to have the best internet, even the best latency to play just normal multiplayer, because you're just sending the data back and forth between you and the people you're playing with, or if it's a big server, a big host for a big multiplayer game, you're just saying, here I am, here's the guns, or whatever's in the game, and here they are in 3 dimensions. You're not even sending the sound. All you're sending is the audio through your headsets, if that's what you use. Versus streaming the entire fucking game on top of your voice chat. But if you have the internet, you have the latency, and Google looks to, from the maps I've seen, let me see here. Let's see if I can find it. Stadia data centers. Maybe I can find it here. Yeah. Let me click back over here. This is the United States. Around where I'm at, there's Florida, here's Georgia. I mean, it looks like in here I'll be hitting data centers all over the place. But if you live up here in the United States, you're going to have to go for a lot of these big ones. I'd probably hit Atlanta. Hell, these are probably up in Tennessee. I'm clear as close to them, so I could hit one of these data centers and be fine. If you're part of South America, out in here, you're going to have latency issues. Africa, well, there's a lot of desert out here, so that's a moot point. But, you know, in different parts of the world, it depends on where you're at. So, if you have this set up, you have good enough internet, hell, you don't even care anything about 1080p. You have 20, 30 megabit internet. You don't have to worry about your data caps. And your latency's good. Some people may buy into this next year, because if you just want a game at 1080p, it's free to get on the platform, and then you buy your games. You don't have to pay the $9.99 a month unless you want 4K. And then think about this. I need to upgrade this computer probably again later on in this year to be in next year. Probably a new motherboard, CPU combo to push into the AMD Ryzen series. I got everything's new in here. Pretty much set the memory. I transferred over from the computer Cyrus gave me, and the CPU. It's pretty old. It's good. But it's going to cost probably at least a couple $100 or more. If you're subscribing to Stadia, that is, you know, $10 a month times 12 months is, you know, $120 a year to have the latest and greatest technology in a data center, as long as all the pieces fall into place, to play 4K gaming. It's not bad. If it works good, if it works good, it's interesting. It's there. Well, Picky Gamer, you don't own the games. Well, if you're playing on a computer through Steam or, you know, the EA store or the Bethesda store, we don't own physical copies anymore. They're all digital. It all can go away. It all can be ripped out of their digital stores at any time. So it's interesting that this is an option that maybe in a year or so, next year, I'm going to try it. Am I going to jump right into it? Head over, just jump into it? I don't know. But at the point of the time when the PS5 and the Xbox One die out, I'm not looking to buy new consoles. This could be an alternative for me to go grab a Chromecast, plug it into my TV, do the 1080p stuff, and just buy Stadia games and sit there on my TV. I have the internet to do 4K. Latency, the data centers are just all around me. It could work. Oh, but you won't own them. Unless you go through on the PC, like good old games, other things like that, like DRM that you could download and back them up. Yeah, you own them that way. And then on the consoles, if you have the physical, you own them that way too. I don't know. It's tantalizing. It's interesting. I'm approaching 11 minutes. I didn't think I'd talk about this long, but it's tantalizing. Am I going to jump on it for November? No, I'm not paying that money. Because later on, you could be able to just try this on a PC. I just jump right on here, probably sometime early next year, with a free, and I'll sign up for Stadia. And I'll give it a try. If it's interesting, I'll keep it in the back of my mind. I mean, you could get to the point where you don't upgrade your PC anymore if you just want to play some PC games, and you just have a nice PC that streams the game, and you're done. You don't want to buy consoles no more. You don't buy consoles. I'm not saying this is the way it should go to. I'm saying with Google behind it, and that it's finally becoming something that a huge titan of technology is going to make happen. OnLive did okay. It pretty much failed. Or it did okay. I don't know if you say it failed, but it didn't go nowhere. And then PlayStation Now has done okay, but Google seems to be making it happen. So what do you think? I thought I might come in here and start bashing this, but I just sat back and look at the models, look at the subscriptions, and the free version next year is tantalizing as hell. If you just didn't care to play something on a console, you just want to plug one of these up to your TV, it's a big possibility to get some of the best 1080p gaming versus these consoles I've got right now. Let me know what you think in the comments below. I don't know what I'm going to do about Stadia next year. I'm going to give it a try. But as I get to the point where I don't want to buy more consoles and I want to stay in here, I don't know. I want to play games. Just to get to the point I just want to play a game. I don't want to keep buying new boxes. I might be playing on Stadia. Some. I don't know. Maybe for stuff that's just single player by myself, I might just buy it on Stadia. So let me know what you think in the comments below. I do appreciate everybody watching. I'm approaching 13 minutes here. This is a pretty long video, but there's a lot of little things I want to talk about and get your opinion on. Let me know what you think, and I appreciate everybody watching. PKO Gamer.